go out at sunrise, chanting, dancing to his name. Haribo, Haribo. He would wake up everyone, rise and rejoice to the name. Haribo, Haribo. Mukunda Madhava, Govinda Hari, Haribo, Haribo. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has come to taste and give away the sweetness of his brain. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all you have to do is take to the sweet chanting of his names. Haribo, Haribo. Every day the sun will rise, and every day the sun will set. Haribo, Haribo. What's the value of your life if devotion you don't get? Haribo, Haribo. Take the name into your heart, take it with you when you part. Haribo, Haribo. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has come to taste and give away the sweetness of his brain. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Hare.
Welcome. Good morning, everybody. Here we are again.
OGEbeats.com.
Jesus Prabhupada, 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 Shri Advaita Nityananda Gauranga, Shri Advaita Nityananda Gauranga, Shri Advaita Nityananda Gauranga, Shri Advaita Nityananda Shri Advaita Nityananda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay, turn your mics on. Let's chant.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Rama, Rama
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna, Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama
Rama Rama,
Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare
Rama Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Rama
Rama, Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna
Rama, Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare.
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari Krishna 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 Hari Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Rama
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama
Krishna Krishna
Rama Rama Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Hare Rama Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama Hare Rama
Rama
Rama Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Rama Rama
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare Rama Rama
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Rama
Rama
Rama Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama Rama
Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna
Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare Hare Rama Rama
Hare Rama 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 Hare
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare Rama
Hare Rama
Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Chaitanya
Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna
Shri Krishna
Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Where did the maid put my book? I have to figure out. Maybe the maid stole my Lord Caitanya. Stole my deity. Now go hurry, don't get obsessive. There's many books here. You don't have to have that one book. There it is. I found it. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. This is Anshakanda in this book, page 719. Glories of Nityananda. All glories to Lord Gaurachandra and Lord Nityananda, and all glories to the Lord's associates. Lord Nityananda continued his pastimes of congregational chanting and experienced great joy in association of all his eternal associates and servitors. Experienced great joy in association of all his eternal associates and servitors. Can you imagine you have actually liberated souls on this planet? You know, playing like they were playing in Vrindavan, you know? And it was all about bliss and eternal happiness and ecstasy. Yeah. What, you know, the question should be like, what is it all about being here in this world? What is it all about for you? You know, and you know, for the devotees, you know, it's their happiness was the names of God and chanting them, and they found the greatest happiness, and that was their example in the world. That was their demonstration. Was not religion. This is beyond religion. They're like the demonstration of ceremonies and regulations and rules and all that. There's not a lot of happiness in that. Not like this. See, but all you have to get this connection. You have to make this connection. See, so and come into this kind of environment. This is where this bliss grows. This happiness grows. It's a very rare place because most of the world is not concerned with this. Even in religion, even they have all these books, right? They don't know about this level. It's like a foreign language to them. Like, what's this? Yeah, well, isn't it? Can't you see? It's just so obvious. Like, they came here and they chanted in ecstasy and they just shared that. That was pleasing God. And they got to the point, like Lilith was talking about, they didn't have a desire for anything else. This is the greatest. The whole thing is desire is about happiness. Oh, thank you. Desire means happiness. You want happiness by fulfilling your desires. So if your desires are fulfilled by chanting Krishna's name, which is the fulfillment of, it's like that's the happiness we're really looking for. And when you get the result of that, what you do is you come and you got to hear the glories. You have to hear these explanations. Like, again, Lalita was mentioning, I caught that one too. You got to hear these explanations of the glories of the holy name and attachment to the name from the experienced devotees who actually have this. Otherwise, those who are religionists, they say, oh, this is what it's all about, a religion. No, it's all about attachment to chanting the holy name with great ecstasy and bliss. That's the essence of religion. That is the true religion for this age, is to chant in ecstasy. And the fastest way, or just to be around the devotees doing that. Hear their explanations. Yeah. Lord Caitanya said, one must hear the glories of the holy name through the mouths of the revealed scriptures. See, through the mouths of the revealed. Who's the revealed scriptures? Well, that's the real devotees who are experienced in the ways of bliss and ecstasy and have these revelations. See, they're in line, so you get a double barrel shot. Because you read it in the scriptures, but you don't understand it, and then you see a devotee and you hear a devotee who reads those scriptures and more, brings forth more realizations, revelations. There are things the devotees say that actually have experience of Krishna that are not in the scriptures, the revealed scriptures. And they are put in there afterwards. Why not? This is endless. What do you think? It stops where the revealed scriptures were revealed, 550 years ago. The revelations continue, of course. But, the devotees who have them are rare. Well, we have a bunch of them here in this Sangha. Yeah. Yeah. Lord Nityananda performed his pastimes here in Navadvip, just as he had done in his previous incarnation in Vrindavan. See, so that's how you get to know Vrindavan. You get to see the current devotees. See, otherwise, how do you know? I mean, that's why people, they read these books about these pastimes of Nityananda and Lord Caitanya, which were the pastimes in Vrindavan, and then they go on worshiping in awe and reverence still, in rules, regulations, and not in the Vrindavan mood. Why? Because you need the living examples again, to show you the blissful ecstatic chanting and the pastimes of Vrindavan, to bring you on to that path. How can a person that is not on that path bring you on to that path? That's why it gets lost. The goal of life, see, Lord Caitanya asked the Tattavadis, the Tattavadis, they had the symptoms of ISKCON devotees. Let's just name it, man. Let's just get real. Let's get relevant. You don't know where you're at. ISKCON and all of the groups, all Gaudiya Math and Gaudiya Samiti. Maybe Gaudiya Samiti is a little bit more, at least they're heading towards ecstasy. They think that they know that that's the goal. I haven't seen any of that the kind of ecstasy here in there, but they're, thinking about it at least. It's a concept. But the Tattavadis were basically devoid of ecstatic devotion. Otherwise, you'd have what kind of realizations? The kind you get here. The kind you see here, the kind you hear here. And the Lord Caitanya questioned him. Oh, by the way, what is the goal of life and the means to attain it? What did they say? What ISKCON says, Varnashram Dharma, for God's sake, the same thing. No wonder I have to scream it. Nobody hears these things. Varnashram Dharma, Prabhupada taught Varnashram Dharma, the goal of life, and to go back to Godhead, liberation. That's you think I'm thinking about going back to Godhead? You think, Lalita, they're in God. We're in Godhead. God comes here. We call him, he comes. Bring me my shoes, Lord. Like Jagannath Mishra, he called, bring my shoes. See, that's liberation. See, devotees don't know because they're suffering. Even as Vaidhi, you still suffer there. Man, that ain't it. That's not complete. Only devotees who ecstatically chant them, there you want to see people free of suffering, even though they might have body suffering. Still, the Lord gives them puts his back on your back so you don't suffer. Gives you real protection, real love, really care, real caring, real protection. Yeah, we need to see the demonstration so people know. And Lord Caitanya said, no, you're cheating me. You see, you're being cheated. Lord even says it in the book. That's why Prabhupada said these books are postgraduate, because they would faint if they heard what I'm saying. Still, they're fainting. But some people need to hear it. Some people want to hear it. Otherwise they can't move on to this level. They will die in that association of the Tattvadis. And come on, man, the Krishna consciousness movement is meant to go deeper, go on, progress. Progress is here. You see, we discuss these things. You got to discuss where you're at by the book. Don't I go by the book? Don't I point out the law? The whole point of law books, when you go to court, the people have the law books and they call a case in question. Roe versus Wade, the abortion thing. They quote it and they use that as evidence. Well, hey, man, that's what it's all about, to find the essence of these scriptures and use it as evidence to convict people. Convict, they use that word in the Christians. You must be convicted, of a crime. Convicted. It's a crime to not move on, actually. You got to be, or conviction. See, conviction, you got to get firm in mind. Oh, wow, I thought that was the goal. Oh, right, let me loosen that and let me be convicted and be convinced. See, Uttamadikar means one who can convince people to move along. That's their prod, cattle prod. Move along, Yeah, Lord Caitanya said, you're cheating me. See, you're being cheated. Varnashram Dharma, if you stay there, that's for beginners. Anybody ready to move on, you got to understand these teachings of Lord Caitanya. Very instructive. You're cheating me. You're still being cheated in ISKCON. I'm not saying this because I'm, envious or jealous or I want to be bigger than them. Well, this is bigger automatically because bhakti is bigger. Bhakti is big. We have big mercy here. And we are here to give that big mercy. But you have to come into this association because I'm preaching the essence that Lord Caitanya preached. He says, Tattvadis, you're this Varnashram Dharma thing, and this liberation thing, even going back to Godhead, that's for beginners. That's cheating now. It's cheating me. That's not the ultimate essential goal of life, is love of Krishna, love of God. See, devotion, devotional mellows, these tastes that you see the devotees actually having, these are called devotional mellows. Mellow. It's so mellow that sometimes it makes you not a marshmallow. not become hard like a thunderbolt. Sometimes like a marshmallow, and sometimes that marshmallow gets like a suit of a coat of arms. Hard. Yeah. To protect bhakti, teach bhakti. Yeah, so the Lord said, you're cheating me. No. It's love of God. That's the goal of love. You need to fix that, man. You've got to be convinced. You come here, we'll convince you. We'll show you that's the goal of life. We won't just blah, blah, blah. Like I was in the Rhythmic. Oh, yes, the goal of life is love of Krishna, Rupa, 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 Radha, Radha, Radha. But don't shed a tear for the Lord. No. We don't want to see that. If it comes up, we'll take it away so you can preach. Preach what? Well, you can talk about it. Talk about Radhe, Radhe, Rupa, Rupa. But no, don't show. If you have any feelings, wipe it. If you get one little tear, which is probably all you're going to get, wipe it.
Actually, they are saying, preach about the devotion that you don't have or that you don't experience.
So you're not an experienced devotee. See, you got to move on, Gaudiya Samiti. You got to move on to what? What we show here. This is it, man. Not only do you hear about it, you see it. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just a big show. And actually, all you're doing, all I did there were rules and regulations. It was all about, it's like, we'll talk about it and have our classes, long intellectual classes about Rupa and not know what we're talking about because you don't feel it. You don't express it. You don't feel it, but we'll just discuss it. I mean, you think this wasn't going on 550 years ago? It's right in the poetry of Prabodhananda Saraswati. He was looking, analyzing, what symptoms do I see? And I'll tell you the verse, and I'll show you how it relates to today, because you need to see it today. Okay? He says, all I see are rules and regulations and that Vaidhi path, like ISKCON. Okay? All I see is that. Okay? I see a lot of people like Eckhart Tolle, into liberation, you're not your story. But you're no story. You merge with God. I see a lot of that going on. See? And I see a lot of materialism. And then I also see this. I see people talking about the conjugal. That's Narayan Raj. That's the Radhakund Babajis. That's what I've seen. That's what he saw. What goes around comes around. Why is he writing the poem? To point it out for when? Well, it's relevant today. So you guys can know it's not all about intellectually just talking about Radhe, Radhe, Rupa, Rupa. And no Radhe. Radhe is devotion, ecstasy, up the yin-yang. Big time, beyond the duality of yin and yang. Transcendental. Love between the devotee and the Lord. See, and the poetry was, because they, when you're a real associate of Lord Caitanya, you see what's going on as it is. If I would see this, I'd say, there you go, there's another place. But I don't think any of you have seen where you see such ecstatic, blazing love of Krishna. Chanting and relishing the mellows of the name, taking shelter of that. See, confirmed. See? What do we got here? Yeah, you should write in English, man, so people can see. Why are you writing like that? Just for others.
I think it's a Dutch poem.
Oh.
It's a poem.
Oh, it's a poem.
You should translate it. It's very beautiful.
Yeah. You should translate it so everybody can take it.
It's a Hollandish poem, I think.
Oh, Hollandish.
Hollandish.
Yeah, so that's it. We're here to progress would be to go beyond just talking about the conjugal, So it has to go into feeling it. So this is, to help benefit even the Narayan Maharaj group. Because, see, they're all paths lie upon Krishna. So that was going on then. People are progressing, getting to the point, okay, now you talk about it intellectually. Even in psychology, they talk about this, how there's a progress. You go from intellectual into the feeling gradually. See, and this feeling is big time because this changed your whole life, your whole existence. You're transformed from iron into gold. That's why people, you get this, you become a saint. And not even think about like the false. You see, we got saints in the world, saintly persons, but they're not really saints. And they get usually a bit of an ego because they're not really saints. You got to become this kind of saint, just like appearing like a nobody. Even if you're a sannyasi, you consider yourself like nothing, nobody. But you carry the Lord, the genuine Lord in your heart, and you distribute that Lord in this world and make people really happy who want it. All they have to do is be convinced and believe. See, Jesus taught the essence. I always loved this verse. He said, those who believe in me, see, all their sins are forgiven. The only sin, when he talked about the Holy Spirit, is unbelief in me. That's very deep, because that's the same thing going here. I could say the same thing. I will say the same thing. The only sin that's left for people in ISKCON and all these groups that's holding them back from having what I have and my students have is unbelief in me. When I say me, I mean Krishna. I mean this preaching. It's the same thing with Jesus. It's his word, unbelief in his word. See, his word is true. You will get the Holy Spirit believing in his word and Lord Chaitanya's word and the devotees who carry Lord Caitanya. See, those who believe in this preaching, your sins will be forgiven. How will you know? Well, you'll be able to chant the holy name in ecstasy and increasing bliss fast. Okay. Quick. It's a quickening. We already have results here. This is not like, well, you're just talking out of your head. No, we're talking true because we have witnesses. Look at Lalita's chant. Look at Johan's. Look at other Govindas. Look at the transcendental happiness they feel. See, just by believing in this preaching. See, it works. Oh, yeah. Do you want to say? Go ahead, Lalita.
Yeah, the closest me, the only sin is unbelief in me. The closest me is a devotee who is walking here on earth. Mm-hmm. That's the closest one. So that's the most easiest one to attain, actually, to approach. So if you don't believe that one, yeah.
Well, it's the me. They give you the Krishna. They don't have a particular me. They're servants.
I mean you. I mean the Son of God. That
Yeah. You have to meet those who are empowered. They have a special power. We have a special power here. It's a special mission. It's to deliver people. It's just like a midwife. They have a job. They deliver babies. That's what they do. That's their job. I have a job here that no one I've seen can do. Narayan Raj couldn't do it. It wasn't his thing to do. He had another job, get people up to that standard. Prabhupada also didn't do this job. He brought people up to a certain standard, right? So God work, God is all paths, Krishna inspires people, different levels. People have different jobs, like Eckhart Tolle, like I mentioned, he's passionate. He loves his work. New age people, they're passionate. We got Maria. She loves her little relationship thing, with that. Everybody has their work. But if you want deliverance, man, I think this is the place for it. You had to go to Jesus or his disciples to get it before, right? Well, you got to come here or come to my students who have this gift to get this. I mean, I don't see, do you see symptoms in ISKCON of what you have there, Lalita? They show you they don't have, they don't even like what you have because they're not even taught the glories of it. So we're here to teach the glories of this kind of ecstatic worship, like Lord Caitanya did in his devotees, right? Like their example is to say, this is glorious. You know, what was going on? You know, I read verses where in Chaitanya Leela, I have to go find them, but you know, the devotees, they would say that people were giving them a hard time, just like now. They give us a hard time. They said, we don't care. We're just going to go out on the street and chant in ecstasy. And if we're crying or laughing, we won't even pay these non-devotees any mind. We're just going to do it anyway. Because Lord Caitanya did it. That's why he's here. That's what he's showing. And that's what we're reviving again. People need to see this way of worship. Otherwise, it doesn't exist. See, what is existence? Where is the existence of something? Where is Krishna? Where is devotion? Well, no, I don't. Devotion? What's that? You know, you could be invited by devotion. That's not relevant. I mean, I never heard about that talk. Look at Devananda Pandit. See, same thing. Devananda Pandit, rules, regulations, fastings. You know, nothing, no talk about devotion. No demonstration of devotion to show that you know what you're talking about. Can you imagine? Then it's only like the Narayan Raj or the Radha Kumbhaja. We'll talk a lot about devotion, but we won't show it. We won't show we have it because you probably don't. Why talk about something you don't have? You might, you know, it's like, it's a bit of hypocrisy in that still. I mean, if you're going to talk about Raganuga Bhakti and spontaneous devotion, devotees, well, you should demonstrate that you know what your subject. Otherwise, you're like a professor in school who goes to school and they become educated, but they have no experience in their subject, really. They just become professors. They just go on from being student to professor, no worldly experience in the world of their subjects. But they learned from the book and they memorized and all that. Isn't that what Vaishnavism is mainly? No actual experience of the subject of ecstatic devotion like the books are praising. The whole Hare Krishna movement is actually built on. This is the firm foundation. That's why it's here 550 years in the future from when it was. The heaven and earth will pass away. Rules and regulations will pass away. But the words of a Vaishnava live forever. The words have spirit, solid. They're solid spirit. They're like spirit in a form, but it's still spirit. The form of a book. Just like, you know, water and ice. Water is water, right? You put it in a freezer, it becomes ice, but it's still water in essence. See, spirit is spirit. It's subtle. It's beyond the material modes of nature. But in this form, it's in the form of a book. It's solid and gives a spirit experience. This is the spirit we need. The voice of a devotee is the same as the book, as the spirit in the spiritual world. That's why you need to hear the mantra from a real devotee as real bhakti, real ecstatic, because that voice is the transformation of spirit of the spiritual world here. And you get the same result. Otherwise, what is your contact? What? People who don't have a voice that's ecstatic, a heart that's ecstatic, in their body, the Lord ain't expressing through them on the transcendental potency. You don't see Satchidananda in the form of a devotee. You must see that, otherwise that's why people don't know. What is Satchidananda? It's not even important. No, rules, regulations, that's what the Hare Krishna movement's all about. No, it's all about Satchidananda. You need to see its form in the world. That's the devotee. When you see the devotee, you see God. You see the path, man. You're facing the real path. You're facing it. Your ear is facing the real truth. See? You're facing the ecstasy. You see it. You can see, wow, there's something going on in the body. Don't know exactly what it is, but something's happening there. Something extraordinary I haven't seen in Radhanath or Jaipataka or any of these gurus or Narayan Maharaj or Arada Kunba. I haven't seen that. You show me anybody. You show me any video. You see what's going on in the devotees, in the videos of Narayan Maharaj. You can see something in Prabhupada, but he was holding back. We know why. You need to see this. That's why people still, they don't believe it, even because they didn't see it in Prabhupada much. If it was in Narayan Maharaj, who knows? I don't think so, because just the way that it went. When it went, the deal breaker for me was when he told that lady, I took away your ecstasy so you can preach. That didn't sit well with me, as well as a lot of other things he said that, so I'm nothing fault against him. He was what he was. He inspired people. He did what he did. But I just have a very high standard here. I don't like to hear things like that. Or judging people's ecstasy. I heard things that didn't sit well with me. So, okay. Anyway, he was a very inspired guy and a good guy. Even Sachi met him. He's a nice guy. There are a lot of nice. Devananda Pandit was very nice, but still he got chastised by Lord Caitanya. Lord Caitanya has a very high standard. I can't help it. I've been chanting these names in ecstasy. My Lord's made me crazy like that. Crazy, wild enough to challenge practically, everyone on this planet, practically. Throw the gauntlet down, throw the handkerchief down. Prove that you got some bhakti, for God's sake, man. Otherwise, move aside. We got a job to do, man. We're here to deliver babies. We're here to deliver that little Krishna baby, that cute little thing, man. Yeah, I mean, if you really get Lord Caitanya, you're going to become wild. You're going to be wild like Nityananda. Even Lord Caitanya, he was a little bit reserved, but that wildness came through his devotees like Nityananda. Nityananda said, yeah, you blame me for being so wild, but actually it's you that's causing this, man. It's your ecstasy, and you just made me in the body of an avadut where I can just do what I want, just like me, right? You see on my Facebook thing, avadut, a little more free, I can do what I do, I'm not here for the etiquettes. You want to etiquettes, go follow some sannyasis. So you change the environment. They cannot do all this. So we're here to preach the real preaching of Lord Caitanya, and it's marvelous. It's beautiful. It's free, man. Don't you want to be free? I'm free. People, they memorize, like I did a little stand when I heard Lalita preaching, I got inspired by this to write something. People there in religion, Vaishnava religion, they want to memorize the scriptures and the rules and memorize all these things. It's all in the mind. And I just spend my time memorizing the holy name in my heart. I still working on remembering that name, man. Oh, wait a second here. Are you muted, perchance?
No,
Okay.
do you hear me? So much comes out of that so-called simple holy name.
Yeah.
You don't need to be a student. Krishna is a student. He's the encyclopedia. He's the knowledge.
Starting to realize more and more the it's all about tasting that name, man. It's just like, I want more of that taste. I want more of that taste. Yeah. That's my prayer. If I'm going to pray, that's my prayer, man, every day, man. I want to taste this more. I want more surprises, Lord. I want a new surprise today. You spoiled me. It's like a beggar, that's begging, and their bowl is filled every day. They get attached to the bowl being filled. It's like, hey man, I don't want to go a day without any of this. You fill my bowl, man. You. What is this here? Oh, good.
It's another poem that Sim and Tom
I'll read it later.
translating.
Yeah. Okay. So, Lord Nityananda performed his pastimes here in Navadvip, just as he had done in his previous incarnation, Vrindavan. He attracted every living entity to simply surrender at the lotus feet of Lord Caitanya without motive. He didn't attract everybody. I mean, come on, man. There's so many instances that people, they didn't like that. They're usually, overly attached to the path of Vaidhi. They were Brahmins. They were confused by his behavior because he was so free. That's what happens when you get the mercy of Nityananda through the line, whenever that mercy is coming, and that's coming now, you become more free. And whoever was attracted and they surrendered to his lotus feet, which is basically his behavior. See, that's like giving respect to this path. Nityananda was the path in person. You need to ultimately meet the path in person that's giving out that path so that you can follow it also. See, like Mamie said in her poem that Gaurahari came to taste ecstatic devotion. That's true. And to give it to others so that you can also taste. That's what it's all about. It's like that's high standard guru. You want first class guru? That's first class. We got first class guru here, man. You know why? Because people come here and can taste like I can. See? And so otherwise you haven't found first class guru yet. Prabhupada wasn't giving you the first class lesson. And he even said the postgraduate course for his preaching was Chaitanya Leela, and nobody was qualified to understand it or hear it. Therefore, he said it's postgraduate. That's for the future. Well, that future is now. I got the order in 1996 to make tasters, to give the flowering, the fructification of his preaching, and the preaching all through the line. So that people can taste like Lord Caitanya tasted 550 years ago, like Prabhupada was tasting in his room. People were attracted. He was tasting the name in the park, and they came. And he gave them rules, regulations. Some just wanted to be in his associate. You think everybody there were two types of devotees who came to Prabhupada. Some were rule followers. Give me rules, give me regulations. Others just wanted to serve Prabhupada. They just wanted to be around Prabhupada. They weren't interested in the rules much. It's like here, some people, they might be, maybe you like following some rules. Well, go ahead, do it or don't. The main thing is dedication to this preaching, faith in this word. You'll get everything, whether you're a rule follower or a follower of no rules, other than just basic human being, which you'll be. When you get this kind of bhakti, you are free of strict following the rules. Unless you're one of those who wants to set some example, I don't know. It's up to you. It's up to your mind now. The Lord Caitanya had different devotees. Some were followers in Nityananda style, and some were in the Brahmin class, and they followed their rule. It didn't matter. They all loved Krishna. That's the main thing. They loved God. They loved Lord Caitanya. They were associates of Lord Caitanya. The Lord didn't judge if people say you had to be like a sannyasi or what. Hey, he said, Ramananda Roy, you're an ecstatic devotee. You love me. You love Radha and Krishna. Come hang out with me. Bring your elephants. Bring your servants. I don't care. You have what it takes, man. You have love of Krishna. You have the mercy of Krishna. Yeah, and Ramananda Roy, he brought his pension. He wasn't renounced. He brought his pension, he brought his elephants and servants, and took up residence in Vrindavan. And he was staying with Lord Caitanya. And then Swarab Damanar was the sannyasi one. He came there with nothing. And they were both the most intimate servants of Lord Caitanya. Why? Because they had the same love, same bhakti. I mean, same kind of ecstatic love, Vrindavan love. And Swarab Damanar, when Lord Chaitanya was in his room, he would just sleep on the floor because he didn't really have any residence. That was his residence at the feet of the Lord. And the Lord, Ramananda Roy, is used to a little more comfortable lifestyle. He'd go home. I don't know if he had a family or what. I don't know if it says. He just go home. He's got his servants there, probably, nice toasty room, nice soft bed, whatever. And then he'd go see Lord Chaitanya in the morning. Okay. And they were the two most intimate associates of the Lord. See, intimacy is the key. They were both intimate associates. Yeah. So that's this path, man. It's marvelous. Yeah. So why don't you read a little bit there, Lalita?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. All glories to you. And thank you for giving me this opportunity once more to read this beautiful book. Jaya, Jaya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. There is an echo, though. There is an echo. Jaya, Jaya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Jaya, Nityananda. Jaya, Sri Advaita Chandra. Jaya, Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Sri Nityananda was like the brilliant sun, surrounded by his inspired and enthusiastic devotees as they roamed all over Navadvip performing kirtan.
That's the Bhakti Lata Bij. It makes you inspired. See, you work on inspiration. You're inspired to follow the path. You feel enlivened chanting and dancing. See? So that's all that's required of the devotees that come onto this path of spontaneous devotion. You will become like that. You'll be enlivened just by hearing from devotees. Like Bhakti Vinod said, I'm not interested. I just can't follow all the rules and regulations of the Vaishnavas. I don't even want to. My heart doesn't want to. But I know I'll attain all perfection by just sitting at the feet of Vaishnavas and hearing from them. So when you begin, that's the whole point of hearing. By hearing and seeing and by the environment of the energy, the potency, the frequency of ecstatic devotees on the path of spontaneous love, you're elevated automatically into this level of being enlivened by the transcendental vibration of that association. And you come right onto that path. That's the easy way. That's why the Lord comes here, to activate people onto the higher vibration. So that you're like that. You're inspired, by the spontaneous devotional service, being around spontaneous devotees who preach the essence of the scriptures, who taste the essence of the scriptures.
Empowered as well, yeah. Yeah. His divine body was covered with bejeweled ornaments and flower garlands. His lips were ruby red. From chewing betel and camphor. Seeing the activities of Lord Nityananda, some experienced divine exhilaration, but others became doubtful and suspicious. A certain Brahmana residing in Avadvip, who had studied together with Sri Chaitanya, in his youth became wary of Nityananda's behavior. The Brahmana was attached in devotion to Chaitanya, but unfortunately he was unaware of Nityananda's transcendental potencies. One day, the Brahmana decided to
See,
go
that's
to...
why the Brahmin, that's why the Lord took sannyas, was for Brahmins like that.
Yeah.
See, they saw the devotional behavior of Nityananda, and they got doubt because they could accept that he was a devotee at first, but then they saw him chewing betel and red lips and doing other things that were unbecoming of a sannyasi, yet people were calling him like sannyasi or Maharaj, kind of like they do here. You notice? It's the same kind of mentality that devotees, then when you say Paramahamsa and all of this stuff to a guy that doesn't even wear a dhoti and doesn't follow the rules strictly, it's the same thing. See, the same thing. That's why you want to understand this pastime, you got to see it in action again. That's why this is here. That's why we preach like this, to give everybody the same chance to understand the lesson. The Brahman was doubtful because Nityananda wasn't following strictly, yet people were calling him Maharaj and Paramahamsa like you would do one of these ISKCON or Gaudiya Math or Gaudiya Samiti gurus. This didn't make sense to them because, see, that shows you there's a difference in a level of spiritual advancement of those who think like that, see, and those who get the mercy. See, you got the mercy of an avadut, see, who has the potency that proves that we're in the real line, because the same pastime is happening again. You can see, when you read that and you see what's going on here, it's the same thing. You have faith in this preaching and this word, therefore you can chant in ecstasy. See? They don't. See? So who's going to point that out? Where's Lord Caitanya to point that out? Well, I'll just take his position. Switch back and forth. See, I'll point out the Lord's pointing it out here, and Gaur Haridas will just switch from the avadut to that position and tell you, well, you see, Lord Caitanya said it. He said, there's a difference. That person has the mercy of Krishna. So anyway, you'll see it'll develop here. Go ahead, next.
Yeah. But actually, when you preach and when you chant the holy name, you feel that you had eaten betel. You feel like you have eaten betel in camphor.
Yeah, your mouth becomes full of real love, and real, yeah. So that's a real, yeah.
That's why I liked it, yeah. The Brahmana was attached in devotion to Chaitanya, but unfortunately he was unaware of Nityananda's transcendental potencies. And one day,
yeah, and so he was unaware of the trend. In other words, he didn't really know Lord Caitanya well. He had devotion to Lord Caitanya because, wow, he's really following the rules real nicely. He's sannyas, and he's attractive. He was open, so there is devotion there. But he still didn't know. See, because if you really know Lord Chaitanya's heart, you'll know Nityananda, because it's the same ecstatic devotion. So that's where people are at. They have devotion to Prabhupada, but they don't know the deeper side of Prabhupada. So therefore, it's the same problem. They have doubt in our preaching. See, they have doubt because we don't follow strictly. Don't have to. And Prabhupada was following. Actually, Prabhupada wasn't following as strict as a lot of these Gaudiya Math people do. he was more liberal. He even wrote in his Nectar devotion that pure devotee doesn't follow the rules and regulations strictly. They don't have to, and especially it gets in the way of their preaching sometimes, so they don't.
Not spontaneous anymore.
Yeah, and especially if they're like, I'm not a Brahmin body. I don't need that, but the Lord makes me a moderate, decent person. I don't, because it's the Lord doing it, if I didn't have the Lord helping me, I would probably be as like most people in the world, really heavily addicted to this or that or something. But the Lord is the wild card. He makes your hand, whatever one you have, whether you're a Sudra, like considered in the lower classes, he makes your hand a winning hand. Like in poker, you got a winning hand. Because you got all these wild cards, jokers, use them to make a straight flush. That's Lord Caitanya. And it's not only for me, but anybody you have faith in this preaching, you'll become as protected as I am. You'll become as ecstatic as I am in due course. But you'll know, not everybody can surrender right away. You need these. We have coverings. They're like you got to peel the onion first, and you take one peel off and another. It's your base. And then gradually more and more trust is. It's wonderful. You're on the train. That's the main thing. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. One day, the Brahmana decided to go to Nilachala, Puri, and he stayed there, immersed in sublime joy. Every day he visited Chaitanya and he felt a gradual increase of his attraction for the Lord. On one of his daily visits, he suddenly felt the urge to ask the Lord some questions in confidence. The Brahmana inquired, "Oh Lord."
That's great. I like the way he did that. He's just, he kept meeting the Lord and becoming increasingly attracted. Increasingly attracted. So that's if you're a say a Brahmin type, or you're a rule follower and everything, you're really fortunate to become attracted to a devotee who is actually a pure devotee, an ecstatic devotee, but is also following the rules. Because if you do, you'll make spiritual advancement. You'll get to the deeper levels of inquiring. And the Lord, because of your increasing intimacy, will help you. So when that situation is here. So that's the secret here. Also, if people can get through this thing, because I'm not the sannyasi type, if they will just come regularly and come closer, they'll become the Krishna will give you the intelligence to inquire deeper, to understand more what's going on here. But it only comes by association. So those ready to do that will see that, and you just. And you'll go deeper, and you'll get the right understanding, the right questions even to ask. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. He inquired, "Oh Lord, I have a request. If you allow me, then I shall present it before you. If you consider me as one of your servants, then I would like to hear your views on certain points." Lord Nityananda, the Avadut, is now in Navadvip. I cannot understand his behavior. People say he is in the renounced order of life named Sannyasa, yet I see him chewing betel and camphor all the time. Sannyasa is not supposed to even touch certain things like gold, silver, precious gems, and so on. But I see him decorating his body all over with ornaments made from these substances instead of a saffron loincloth. He's putting on flowing silk robes and using sandalwood and flower garlands.
Yeah, people, it's amazing. When I was in Radhakund, they were saying, "Oh, Bhakti Siddhanta, and these are supposed to be the most advanced Vaishnavas." A lot of people think these Radhakund Babajis, but they had this thing. Oh, Bhakti Siddhanta couldn't have been an advanced devotee because he wore saffron. And after Lord Caitanya left, the Goswamis, they out of respect, they felt, they just to wear only white. So now people thought, 500 years later, that was an offense to Lord Caitanya to wear saffron. So they didn't believe in Lord Caitanya because of some external designation. See? And the same thing, like sannyasis aren't supposed to go across the ocean. It's like these sannyasi rules and regulations and all that. And these are the people teaching Vaishnavism, even today. People are still hooked on tradition. A Vaishnava they transcend traditions. They make new traditions, actually. But even in the future, those traditions may be transcended according to the time, place, and circumstances by another acharya, because they're not bound by structures. They create structures. They're a genius, like the Lord Caitanya or Krishna is one of his qualities, a genius. Well, the acharya is a genius. The Lord makes them a genius. Their intimate relationship makes them a genius. Okay? If you're still a traditionist or a religionist, you don't have that kind of closeness. So then you think in terms of the rules, like this Brahman. They call him Maharaj and all that stuff, but he doesn't follow like a Maharaj is supposed to, like a sannyasi.
Mm-hmm.
See, so I always found that a bit odd. It's like, God, they're supposed to be so advanced in these groups, and but they're like that Brahmin. They have the symptoms of being like a Brahmin or a sannyasi in the Varnashram Dharma, trying to renounce the world so they can become closer to Krishna. See, the way of Lord Caitanya is he gives you Krishna so you can renounce the world. See, that's called mercy. They call Kripa Siddha, mercy Siddha. You become perfect by the mercy of a Vaishnava. See? The other is Sadhana Siddha, which basically they're teaching in Vaishnavism, is you become perfect by renouncing the world and then getting Krishna. It's like, it's the wrong path for Kali Yuga. The best option is, if you're lucky, an associate of Lord Caitanya will appear. If you're a Vaishnava, an associate of Lord Caitanya will appear and teach you this path of mercy, will distribute to you this path of mercy, to where you will, look at you guys, you're getting prema without having to go through some sannyasi course or go through all this, this varnashram system and for many lifetimes, and then, get gradually, you get it here. Okay?
Yeah.
Because go ahead.
Yeah, real Vaishnavas, they create new traditions that really work to increase the Harikatha and to increase the service, actually, the pleasing of the Lord, the real pleasing, where you know out of experience, this is working, this is really working.
Yeah, I mean, you get the result here of you see the desired result is love, the highest goal of life, life's ultimate goal, love of Krishna, and you see that going on here. So this is the prototype If Krishna gives you the intelligence, you will come here and learn here. Why wouldn't you? Because this is the essence of the Hare Krishna movement, is to attain life's ultimate goal, love of Krishna. And if you can do it now in this lifetime and very fast in a place like this, this is the place to be if Krishna gives you sufficient intelligence. So the message goes out, and I know that most won't accept. Many are called and a few are chosen, but we got to get the chosen few that are choosing to go back to Godhead in this life. Maybe a few more. I mean, the Lord empowers the devotees to speak so logical that we might even convince some Vaidhi Bhaktas to change, to repent, to change their mind about their path. Well, you've just saved two more in this life and saved them a lot of trouble for many lifetimes, trying to figure these things out. And when you have it all figured out sufficiently, you know what happened? You'll get this kind of opportunity again. Who knows how long that'll be, though? So now it's here, the opportunity.
Fantastic jewel.
Yeah.
A rare jewel. Well, yeah, rare here in this world. Very rare.
Prabhupada said that, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, out of many thousands of self-realized souls, hardly one knows me in truth. That's actually more of Lord Caitanya quoted that verse, and he said, many thousands of self-realized souls, hardly one knows me in truth. That's, we prove that we know Krishna because the Lord has given us that mercy to know the Lord. So we're really lucky in that case, because out of many thousands who haven't realized Krishna, we're not that special, done austerities for lifetimes and all this stuff. The Lord is giving us this gift to know him very easily. That's why I keep boasting about this mercy here. It's fantastic. It's extraordinary. There's nothing like it. I've been around. I've been in with the Vardakun Babajis. I've been with Narayan Raj. I was in ISKCON for 5 years. None of this that's happening here is there. None. Zero. No potency like this. This is full demonstration of the Leela of Lord Caitanya when he was here. You read these verses, what's going on here? Isn't that amazing? I find that extraordinary. You read this and then you see it's going on here. So what is the meaning? These are the Lord's pastimes. Transcendental Lord Chaitanya's pastimes revived again. That means the same kind of result. Love of Godhead will appear, and it has appeared already and will appear more. The more we convince to change their mind about their, abandon their opinions. Hey, listen, ISKCON, Gaudiya Math, Gaudiya Smriti was starting with you. Abandon your path, your opinions. If they haven't got you what Lalita has, or Johan has, or Govinda has, or anybody else who has it and is coming up to demonstrate and show you. Why not? That's the way the Lord taught. We teaching that again. Whoever abandons their opinion. Lord Caitanya went to South India. Whoever abandoned their path, that didn't work very good. What doesn't work very good? You don't get the kind of ecstasy that we have in this life, in a week, in 6 months, in 6 years even. People can be Buddhists for their whole lives, 40 years, and if you make a mistake or something, you fall down, you got to start over again. That's Buddhism, if you're a sincere Buddhist. And then they die with what we've got sometimes in a week. They don't even know. They don't even believe in God. Even the Dalai Lama said, I don't believe in God. I read his book. I don't believe in God. Where are the gods? Where are the Buddhas? See? Liberation, oneness. No wonder he went and got that thing, man. He wanted to show the world, follow my path. See, that's not strong enough to get full protection. I don't need that. The Lord is I get a shot of Krishna every day, like whiskey, give me a shot of Krishna, man. That's all I need.
Absolutely.
I'm good for the day, man.
Absolutely.
There's some people, these old people, they take a shot of whiskey every day and they live till the 90s or 100. One lady was over 100. They said, what's your secret? I have a shot of whiskey every day. See, my youthfulness and Lalita's youthfulness, we take a shot of Krishna every day, man. Many shots. We don't stop with one shot. Nah, we get just drunk as skunks, man. And then we're good for the day and make others good for the days, all their days.
Sometimes we've got an overdose.
Sometimes overdose, yeah. It's okay. You can OD on this. That means you get more intelligent when you OD on Krishna. You get more happiness, more spiritual potency too. Ability to convince others. I think we're doing pretty good. People are coming now. They're seeing. We're not just talking out of our hats here. We're experienced devotees. We're spontaneous devotees, but very attractive, becoming more and more attractive. We're like these tractor beams, in Star Trek. Pull the ships. You get in the beam here, man, and you can't get out of the beam. It just pulls you to the ships, pulls you to this ship here, our ship, our starship here. We just put out the tractor beams and just start pulling other ships, other people, other temples over here.
They can't go back. Some really can't go back anymore. They have no choice anymore.
No choice, Even Cole came back. He said, I was off social media, but man, he's back here again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't, once you get in the tractor beam, man, it's hard to.
It will always coming back, yeah. Shall I continue?
Shall you?
Yeah. He's putting on flowing silk robes and using sandalwood and flower gardens. Another part of the Lord's quint activities is that he does not carry the sannyasa danda, but an iron rod. He's always seen in the company of Sudras. Woo!
Yeah, we like the company of Sudras here.
We are all Sudras. Persons coming from lower castes. I have not seen Nityananda always acting strictly.
Yeah, the lower classes are usually easier to attract because they don't have the, they don't have that, the prejudice. They just say, oh, wow, there's juice there. There's life there. Yeah. Let's go for it. They're not, like the teacher, like myself or Nityananda, they're not thinking that, oh, he's not following the rules. Their faith ain't built on that. Their faith is built on like, wow, it's just so nice to be around this person. It just feels really good. They don't care. Oh, he doesn't follow strictly these. Oh, we don't care following strictly. Why should we care about him following strictly?
If you're attracted, you're attracted.
Yeah. See, they don't have all these prejudice. That's why it's easier for people in the lower classes to even come here who don't have that
background.
Background, and then which becomes an attachment. You're looking for the standard of a real devotee is being in the Varnashram system that has an official position, but they lack the devotion. They don't have the devotion. See? So that's not the real standard. The real standard is the devotion, whatever class you're in. That's the real standard. Better to be with a Sudra that has real devotion and intimacy with the Lord, who's an associate of Lord Caitanya and Nityananda, which is proven by their ecstatic devotion, than with a big sannyasi that doesn't have it, but has just an official position in the varnashram system. See? People don't know these priorities. You have to come here to learn them because they certainly can't teach you. That's why Prabhupada had people take sannyas. He said, I created another kind of sannyas. You're not real sannyasis. This is just for preaching because people give respect to sannyasis. See? But that gets taken advantage of, especially after a great soul like Prabhupada leaves. People, they get corrupted by the position. See, they can't handle the opulence. They become gurus. See, as soon as Prabhupada left, they're all Guru Devs now. Pure devotees. Just overnight, just happened. Like that. You see?
Pure devotees without devotion.
And like that, the real bhakti began to disappear. That's not pleasing to the disciplic mind to teach idol worship. You're an idol unless you have prema.
Of course.
See, a devotee who has prema means they have God living inside them. Therefore, there's no fault putting your picture if you have prema on the altar. But if you don't have prema, you don't have the Lord awakened in your heart. You put you're worshiping a mundane person who's still mundane, material, consciousness. Matter of fact, Lord Caitanya taught Rupa Goswami. He taught them. He says, if you find this path that you're on here, and that's why I pointed out, you got to give up worship of mundane persons. You can't worship these gurus unless they have prema. If you do that, you will lose your consciousness by that association. You will believe in that. That means you don't really believe in this. See, this preaching, these concepts were taught by Lord Caitanya to Rupa, the highest devotee. I teach them here. That's why I don't worship Hey, Radhanath, do you have prema? Because I ain't worship. I don't put you. I won't give you respect meant for a pure devotee who has the Lord living in their hearts. I can't follow that. I can't break the order of Lord Caitanya. That's why bhakti is still here, because I don't mix, I don't compromise. And if that, you'll have to get past, like if you're attached to worshiping mundane persons, you will leave here. I've seen it already. People, or if you're attached to worshiping the varnashram system, which is material, just because Prabhupada taught it, you will also leave here like they have, like Mahavirya, like Meena. They're attached to the varnashram level, that kind of level that Prabhupada taught. That's just how it works. It's still material, mundane. And you'll be praying, oh, when will I get real bhakti? Well,
make nice songs about it.
I don't think you know what real bhakti is, man, because it's all here.
Yeah. So, he's always seen in the company of Sudras, person coming from lower castes. I haven't seen Nityananda always acting strictly according to the instructions of the scriptures. Therefore, I am assailed with doubts about him.
See, that's the thing. See, the instructions of the scriptures, you got to see the different levels of the instructions. See, there's the essence of the scriptures, and then there's the one for the gross materialistic Vaishnavas that are in religion. The rules, the regulations. So Nityananda was following the essence of the scriptures. Lord Caitanya in his heart was following the essence of the scriptures. Prabhupada in his heart was following the essence of the scriptures. But they didn't always preach the essence of the scriptures. See, preach outwardly, preach it, show it, demonstrate it, glorify it. Okay? So whatever a great man does, common men follow. Common devotees follow. So if you're preaching, like Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta were preaching, Varnashram Dharma, rules, regulations, regulative devotional service, practice, devotional service and practice. So therefore, common devotees who wanted to follow that. See? But there's a greatness here. We're teaching people will follow because this is great. The Lord is inspiring us, empowering us. So to bring people to the other level, but you have to have a strong sannyasi root here. Whether you could be a Sudra like Nityananda and his followers. Root. We have to root this bhakti here, and people will start, common devotees, common varnashram dharmas, or whoever will start coming here. Probably the lower classes as they're doing, that are not too attached. And that's the example for them. See, this has to be rooted here. And then the common devotees who are following varnashram will see there's another light here. This is the further progress. Pilgrim's progress. Okay? So whoever is meant to be touched by this preaching will be touched by this preaching because it's going out. See, we're demonstrating this. We're demonstrating this path. We're showing this path, preaching about this path, glorifying this path. See, that's why more and more are coming. And will come. Why not, man? This is where the real mercy is. Can't you see? Can't you see where real happiness is? Is chanting the holy name like you read in the scriptures. After a while, this is going to sink into the Vaidhi Bhaktas. It just has to be repeated again and again. Bhagavad Gita 10:10, Bhagavad Gita 10:10. To those who worship Krishna with loving ecstasy, I give them the real understanding. That's the devotees here. I give them real transcendental knowledge. That's the devotees here. You'll see. We'll get through. This is a TV screen. This is how it works. People, they're watching TV, or you're watching your gurus teaching something else. This is stronger, man. This is more happiness. You'll know who you're out there when you're ready for this life. You'll hear this message and you'll come a-running like we do. I come here a-running every day, man. Man, I'll usually sometimes want to sleep in, I'm tired and everything. And my mind says, get up there. You know me. I don't get any satisfaction unless we're hearing and chanting in the morning here. So you get your ass up, go hard, Das. And satisfy my mind. You satisfy me. I've already practiced. I've already had my mind on women, and money and all that stuff, and didn't satisfy me. But then somehow or other, you brought me Lord Caitanya, and now I'm gonna make sure that see, your mind becomes your best friend. My best friend gets me up every day, says, hey, man, get up there, man. You start singing the Lord's name. I don't want to do it now. I'm just tired now. And you get up. Yeah, how would you like to have a mind like that? Becomes your best friend, man. Your best friends don't always make you feel always happy right away, but they tell you the truth, man. See? You become Bhagavad Gita verse. Your mind becomes your best friend. Absolutely. Instead of trying to deviate you. See, the minds of people generally, they say, oh yeah, go to this woman, go to this man. Oh yeah, meditate on that. Oh yeah, And your mind, it has faith in that. See, it gives respect to that path of sense gratification. Yeah. Or go to the rules. Yes, he's teaching religion. Go to religion, Maya. And then it finally realizes, hey, the cheese is not there. Hey. And then we call the minds out there, with the tractor beam. They put the tractor beam out there, track the minds over here. Put your mind over here and see if it doesn't feel satisfied. Yeah, bring your mind here to meditate on some of these classes that we do here.
Transform the mind first.
Yeah.
So, many persons hail him as a great personality. Yet, why does he not act in a way befitting his position as a sannyasi? Oh Lord, please remember that I'm just your menial servant.
Yeah, that's the thing. Many people were, the lower classes first, were coming to Nityananda. And they were hailing him as a great soul. See, because that's the only way you're going to know, is you have to go into the association of a person that is being hailed as a great soul by their followers. Because the followers have a lot of contact. That's the only way you can know the greatness of a person or the ungreatness of a person, is by association. See? So many people were hailing him. Just like here, we have people saying, "Oh, Gohar, he's a good guy. He's really this. He's this. He's giving transcendental ecstasy." And these people, you could see, like most of the Vaidis now at this point, they come and they don't give it a chance. They just come, humbug, and then they go away. See? And they wonder, why are you guys giving so much respect to this guy who doesn't wear a dhoti? Well, because I'll tell you right now, to help you, anybody like this, it's because they're here watching, hearing, seeing, getting purified, getting cleansed, having the awakening that gives of the realization that the Lord Caitanya and Radha and Krishna are actually working here through our Sangha. There's no other way to get it except by hearing from this vibration, in this vibration, on this frequency, being purified. And those who do that will know. That's the only way. Just, those who become servants of the gurus, intimate servants, a lot of times they leave because they see that these people are not like they present themselves in public as great sannyasis, great teachers, deliverers of their thing. And they realize they're ordinary persons. See? They're actually just ordinary. They're just putting on a show. It's called show bottle. That's all. Big show, but they're just ordinary persons. If you came and spent time with me, what would you just see? Oh, an ordinary person. Same like that. You would see the same like that.
But it's the opposite here.
But the difference is you would see the extraordinariness inside also.
It's just the opposite.
Yeah. You would see, it's not, so everybody is basically ordinary. But the devotees of the Lord chooses as their intimate friends. See? And then they have extraordinary manifestations in this world. That's one of the glories of Advaita, it's in Chaitanya Bhagavat, is sometimes they saw him as an ordinary person. He acted in an ordinary way, and then sometimes very extraordinary way, when the Lord manifests, openly, outwardly.
But it's good for the attachment and for the relationship. It's good that he looks like an ordinary man because it makes the distance less big.
That's why Vrindavan is here, Even, when the cowherd boys, this is in the pastime, 10th canto, they saw how Krishna was acting in extraordinary ways, like he was a great demigod with great spiritual power, He'd lift Govardhan Hill on his pinky. He'd save them from the snakes, from all kinds of dangers, and he did all these miracles that only an extraordinary person. And so they were wondering, how does this great person, this great being, warrant a birth amongst us who are just ordinary cowherd boys and cowherd girls? Why does he feel so much affection for us, and we also for him? See, that's family. They have this, yeah.
That's why this role of Lord Nityananda is so important. The presence of Lord Nityananda is so important.
Yeah.
Absolutely, so important.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his characters.
You need to see devotees that are servants of Nityananda. Truly, they're empowered by that power that Nityananda had. And that's what you need to see and be comfortable with, so you can be absorbed into the family of the Lord of Vrindavan. See, and these pastimes. Otherwise, you're in the mundane world, mundane universe. Even as a demigod, they ain't good enough. You have to be with these devotees.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I'm not here to add demigod worship to this, what we're doing here. Add this stuff. That's these. We're here to add Lord Chaitanya's association, introduce that people to the greatest savior of this universe in this very rare Kali Yuga. We're here to promote that mercy in this world, better above all paths. This is above, in my realization and following many different things and many different people and different paths. This is hands down, just like it says, the best path, the best process is Lord Caitanya is the only meaning for advancing in spiritual life. And when you're with his associate, you will begin to know that if you stick around long enough. Anybody teaching Radhe, 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 and more emphasis on Radha and Krishna without emphasis on Lord Caitanya and his teachings is on a slower path. This is more, they still not clear. Because, come on, man, Lord Caitanya comes once every 4,320,000,000 years, or 20 on the 28th Divya Yuga, which is Kali Yuga to Satya Yuga, 28 times before Lord Caitanya comes. That is one friggin' long time. And you don't think that's important to take notice of? To pay attention to? That's the whole power of this preaching. That's why people have love of Krishna here, because Lord Caitanya is being strongly emphasized, that influence, those teachings. That's why he came from Vrindavan, and his devotees came from Vrindavan in this Kali Yuga to help teach us the path to Vrindavan. See, Prabodhana taught this. He says, you dive into the pastimes of Lord Caitanya, the teachings of Lord Caitanya, and then you surface into Vrindavan automatically. That is my personal experience. Why wouldn't I teach what worked for me? I see people trying to go to Radhe, Radhe directly, or mostly emphasized on Radha and Krishna, and they don't have this kind of ecstasy that we have. Not like this. They might have some devotion and all that, a few tears once in a while, a little hair stand on end. But if they follow this path, they would have so much more.
She doesn't want to be called like that. She wants to hear conclusive truth.
Yeah.
Then she will come.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she came in the form of Lord Chaitanya's mood to teach us how to get to Vrindavan. If we don't take note of her teachings, see, they were more secret in Vrindavan. They were sealed. You can even see it, how it is. I couldn't understand Rupa Goswami's poetry until there was some advancement by the grace of Lord Caitanya. Now, like Lalita, she can appreciate the poetry of these great souls like Rupa and Krishnadas
Yeah.
Kaviraj about Radha and Krishna, because you can relate. You have those kinds of feelings in there. Otherwise, there's no way. Yeah.
It's always beautiful. It's
Yeah.
always beautiful, even if you don't really. But it becomes always more and more and more beautiful the more you develop your bhakti.
Mm.
Yeah, there's a big
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah. Yeah. Give us a word, Tom. What's happening?
Wow. I feel I can express myself today. Like what I really, really feel, I can express. So, and that's getting a burden from my shoulder. And yes, like I really can admit that sometimes I feel very disappointed in you, and then and then I I have to digest it, and I have some internal struggle, and then
I know. I know. It's the money thing when I mention the money.
no, and there are a pile of things,
A
more,
pile of
more,
things. Okay.
more.
More.
The money
More.
thing
Okay.
is one of
More. Oh,
them.
wow.
Yes, one of them. But there is. I don't want to talk about it. There are many things piled up, but every time I'm in that process, and then it dissolves. It's like overruled by a deeper appreciation, by a deep respect, and whoa, and this feels very dynamic. But because this is happening over and over again, I feel it's a very fortunate. It's progressive all the time. It's then I having a good day when I overcome my internal issues and my doubts and my what are the words, my
Opinions.
yeah, my revolting thoughts. Like the, this yeah, this doubt. There are many words for that
Yeah.
saboteur, in a saboteur. It can be very um agitated and very um wanting the attention and taking the energy. Yes, revolting, rebel. But then I come to this point, and then everything changes, and it goes over again, this story. But now I see, because it's happening like this, I'm progressing, and I'm having a good day. That this is worth coming, even coming to this planet. This is dynamic. This is progress.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Yeah. Yeah. It's like Lord Caitanya. He he was preaching in South India, and people gradually, as they speed it up in the books. Like he seems like it happens in like a moment. But it's preaching. You preach to a person, gradually they abandon their opinions, abandon their prejudices and all these stuff. And then you get closer. See, that stuff is not in the way. It's like getting your clothes taken off by Krishna in Vrindavan. See, the clothing that's in the way. And then you come just, those considerations which were like offenses. They're like fences, not this offense, fences, fences to the closeness. See, you just, Yeah, gradually. That's why you're in the right place. You stay in this frequency, stay listening, stay hearing, stay serving. And by, it just gets closer and closer and closer. You know? Yeah. Give us a word, Lalita, after you finish your writing.
Yeah, Amy says, I'm made for it. Give me more, give me more, give me more. Yeah, we all are made for it, but nobody's ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that they actually Krishna gave you to me, Guru Maharaj. I know now I'm made for it as well, because we are ignorant. We don't
Yeah.
know where we are made for.
No,
We have
no.
no idea. This is really life. This is the neck plus ultra. It's really a beautiful life. Like you say, I remember Lalita Madhava when he woke up every morning. Krishna is hungry. I need to feed him. Hup. For the deities, cooking immediately. We need to
Yeah,
cook
yeah,
for the
yeah.
deities. There, then he is. And now it does the same. We
Same,
both
yeah.
do the same. He there,
Yeah,
kilometer further than me.
yeah, yeah,
Getting up.
yeah.
Krishna is hungry, man. We need to
Yeah,
feed him.
yeah. That's
And
right.
we
Yeah.
need to get fed as well. It's Krishna consciousness. It's all about bhakti. What about else? It's not about all the rest, all the side issues. It's all about bhakti, man.
Yeah,
It's all
yeah.
about the spirit. It's all about the truth. And it's all about the bona fide spirit of our master. Otherwise, forget it. You can really forget it.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Possible.
yeah.
Not possible. It's just not possible. If you
Yeah.
see how actually slowly, because you say they grow fast, but actually it's slowly because you give. I said to a devotee, maybe I had 1,200 hours of listening to you,
1,200
or
hours.
is it
Yeah,
12,000? Maybe it's 12,000. I need to calculate it, but it's loads of hours before
yeah, yeah.
we start to understand a little bit, you know?
Yeah, this is
We,
more than longer than a massage certification.
yeah,
You need a certain amount of hours.
yeah, certain amount, man. Yeah, yeah. While Vaitis all think we understand Krishna, we know him, we know him. No, 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 it's not that easy. It really takes a while before he trusts you.
Yeah, yeah. And you trust him too. It's a two-way street.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because Krishna is the Maya also.
yeah.
And so it's confusing because wait a second, I trusted the Maya or Krishna in that form, and you get like a dog that's always afraid. We're like we've been kicked so many times, by our master Maya. Then you turning towards Krishna, and it's like, well, wait a second, are you going to kick me too? See, and gradually you see that Krishna doesn't kick in that way. The Krishna's transcendental potency is where the happiness is, where the benedictions are, where the good auspiciousness is. See, so usually people come here, they've lost some degree of faith in Maya and her kicks, being kicked this path and kicked on that path and kicked and disappointed and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
See, yeah, like Tom, poor Tom, he's been disappointed in Sadhguru. He
Yes.
thought Sadhguru was the ultimate, probably.
I call it the saturation point.
Yeah,
When there comes a point I'm so fed up. There's no progress. What's happening here? Um, I have a lot of patience with them, but at a certain moment, I it's enough. It's enough.
yeah, it's
It's enough.
good.
There's no progress anymore. I feel saturated. Then it's time for the upgrade. And then I know I'm fed up with this, and when I also have this with Maya, this up and um, up and down relationship. I play a little with her, and I trust her. I try out things, but then it comes to a point. It's enough, and then I know I have to. Then I'm ready for the heavy rate again. I have to come back.
Because you can't get enough satisfaction because you have tasted this. And this
Yes,
is so
yes.
much better. And you say, oh
But
no, I'm going back to that better taste, the
but
higher
now I
taste.
see the game because it was happening like that so many times. Now I already know when I go there, I will come back. I have to come back. And I know I can see it happened too many times. so so like Shila Garuda, she said, yes, you go and learn some lessons from Maya, and then you come back. So it's becoming very clear, the whole process of up and down, and um, so now even when I'm there in this so-called depressed state, or this depression, I already have to laugh because I don't believe it. I can see the big picture. I don't believe it when they say, "Oh, Tom, yesterday I was with a practitioner, a Ayurvedic practitioner, and she looked very sad, and you have a lot of amla and this and this." I I don't. I paid her. The consult was 90 euros gone, and I felt, what is this? This is so inconclusive. She was with a very serious face, and you are very, but I didn't buy it. So it's I see they are in a limited awareness. They are so inconclusive, and they don't know it.
Yeah.
So they are serious, but I can see there is a higher perspective, a transcendental perspective, a higher upgrade, a higher class, and
Yeah.
from that point of view, it's very funny. It's all very funny what's happening there.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Yeah.
haha Maya, I call it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you get so much. I mean, God, see, good counseling when you have happy face. Can you imagine? You got these. I've seen that too. People, they're authorities, but I look at their face and think, what kind of authority are you? You're not even happy yourself. you know, you want counseling, go to people who are happy. They've learned something, and really, you can't really be happy unless you're connected to your source. May mean different things to people, but if you're with your source, you feel contained, you feel complete. You get real deep insights and understanding and intuitions, because of that connection with your source. That's why you see in American Indians, they have many of them that are wise. The ones who are not, the ones who sold out to the government and they listen to the government now, they become weak. They become so weak. You should support the Indians. They're afraid and weak. When I was driving across in Idaho, they have all these places, gambling places, and and these stops, for gas and stuff, and they're run by the Indians. Oh, because they believe in the government and their welfare and all that stuff, and their medicines, they're weak in physically and in mind, and fat. A lot of them are just huge. They take all these medicines, and they makes them. And so that's by that. And but the American Indians who were connected to the source, oh, so much wisdom. So much, like the Aborigines also connected to their source. See, different names, but they're in the source. Also, others, you can tell who has some level of devotion. They're connected with source more. Yeah. And that's what's needed. And so in psychology, there's a lot of people that that's why they get into psychology and become it, because they need it themselves more. And then they become your teacher and they're not very good.
I remember this Belgian comedian. He had a very wonderful joke. And he said, "Yes, today you did a very good job. You only receive a little slap today."
Yeah.
Because you did a very good job, you only did get a little slap, bang bang.
Yeah.
And I think this is so funny, just to have people. They are already happy when they get a little punishment, because it's like you said with this dog. They are so beaten up every time, and deep and suppressed by and limited in their living force, in their potency.
Yeah, the essence is just turned towards the transcendental potency. I mean, that's the essence. Chant the holy name in this kind of association, and you'll just see your heart will smile. You'll be happier. That's the offering here. Let's just make it simple. Okay, I'm ready to take a little nap here. I got up a little early, I think, today. So, what we're gonna do? Where's Fanny today? Is she here today?
Thought I saw her in class in the beginning. But yeah, I thought so.
It's what? She's not. She's here.
I thought I have seen her in the beginning in the class.
Oh yeah, maybe. Oh, a lot of comments. Okay, great. All right, here we go.
He would go out at sunrise, chanting, dancing to his name. Haribo, Haribo. He would wake up everyone, rise and rejoice to the name. Haribo, Haribo. Mukunda Madhava, Govinda Hari, Haribo, Haribo. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has come to taste and give away the sweetness of his brain. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all you have to do is take to the sweet chanting Hari's name. Haribo, Haribo.